Welcome, I'm Tim, the Suburban Dad, and as you can see, I'm not in my usual location. I'm here at Grillo's Chop and Barrel with Mike. Very grateful to Mike to have me out to his shop today to be able to shoot on location. I'm super excited to showcase a little bit what he does, as well as share a very special bottle today. Let's get started. So, Mike, you've had Grillo's open for how long now?
We're at about 10 months now.
10 months,
Yep.
Okay, so not even quite a full year.
Yeah.
And what I find unique about your shop is not only do you sell whiskey, of course, but you're also a butcher shop as well.
Right. Right.
So, from the butcher shop side of things, what all do you guys cover there?
So essentially everything that you could want. We have certified Hereford steaks. We make our own brats in house. We make our own burgers in house. We have our family recipes, Zizitza, that is really good. So some of our own recipes here that you're not going to find anywhere else, and
Nice.
some stuff you'll find other places as well. I think we are the only butcher shop around this area in St. Charles County that carries Hereford beef.
Okay.
Which is just a different breed of cattle over Angus, and we feel that it provides a little better flavor and tenderness. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I can attest to the Hereford. It is quite tasty. We've had the steaks before, and it's a big difference.
Yeah.
So.
Usually when someone has either the ribeye or the tenderloin, that's one of those things that kind of bring them back in.
And so, of course, you sell whiskey. How long have you been into whiskey and bourbon?
Oh man, before it got big, which was nice because that helped my home collection before.
Yes.
Before it was really hard to get everything.
Yes.
Probably about 10-ish years.
Okay.
So my late 20s is when I kind of started getting into some stuff, intro in.
Yeah.
And it was nice because you could find all the Buffalo Trace stuff everywhere at MSRP. So.
Yes, the good old days. The good old days.
Right, when you could find this bottle of Stagg Jr. anywhere you wanted for about $50.
Jeez.
That was nice.
That does sound nice. And so that's a great segue because how many times do you have people walk in here? Just while I was in here, I already saw one guy come in and ask for Eagle Rare.
Right.
How many times do you have people come in and just ask for an allocated bottle in some way or another?
At least once a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most popular is the Blantons.
Plans,
of course, right?
Sure.
So when we get the really hard to get stuff, we get a bottle. We haven't got lucky enough to get cases of the really good stuff. We're not spending the same amount of money as like a Total Wine or a wine and cheese place or something like that. But we get a bottle in to try to keep things as fair as possible to our customers. We try to do a raffle. It kind of helps our repeat customers that are already coming in here and spending money on the meat side. And so whenever we do that, like you won that one there.
Exactly.
We do spend $25 in the store, and you get a ticket in, and then we'll sell all the allocated bottles we get at MSRP. So
Nice.
It helps me feel good about not price gouging, because that's what a lot of people end up doing to try to make up for the extra stuff sometimes they have to take on to get an allocated bottle.
Yeah.
So.
And around here, we're just west of St. Louis, Missouri. It's very tough to get the allocated bottles, the good stuff, without paying way over retail price. So I really appreciate the way you do it, because it's not just, okay, you pay this amount for a ticket and maybe you'll win it. You're already getting something for your money.
Right.
If you're spending $25 here, you're getting meat or you're getting another bottle. So you already have a return on your money. As a bonus, you could win the opportunity to get something really special.
Right. And that's when I was trying to figure out ways to try to keep it the most, fair. I've seen a lot of places do the raffles where they sell a ticket, and just like you said, you're not getting anything in return for that ticket.
Right.
So,
Right.
that makes it kind of tough, So
it does.
Hopefully one day we'll get a bottle of Pappy or something, real high end like that. And we'll do the exact same thing with that. So
yeah,
sometimes
sure.
it's hard not to snag one of those for the home bar too.
I can see the temptation there, absolutely. Yeah, and yes, as he said, I was lucky enough to win this bottle of Stagg Jr. It's part of the Buffalo Trace line. I'm excited to share it with you today. I have one other bottle of Stagg, which is phenomenal. This bottle is the 15th batch of Stagg Jr. Comes in at 131.1 proof, which sounds really intense, and that's high proof. I mean, I like high proof bourbons, but that's really high.
It's up there with some of the highest, yeah.
Now, people watching might think, oh my gosh, how much ice and water do you have to add to that? I mean, the other bottle I have is 130.2, and it's great without anything because it's such good quality that it's smooth enough. You're not on fire all the way down.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and crack this guy open. But not only are you a business owner, Mike, but you're also a dad. Is that right?
I am. Yep. I have 3 kiddos. My oldest is 13, and then my 2 younger are 4. Well, my 4-year-old turns 4 this weekend.
Ah, nice.
Yep. And then we have about a 1.5 old at home as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So we got 2 girls and a boy. The last one was the boy.
Okay.
So I got lucky there.
I imagine it's tough balancing business life and dad life.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially, when we first started and, as opening a business, you're trying to keep your costs low so you can kind of recoup some of the money and pay off some debt and things like that. So, it was a lot of hours. It was a lot of work. Luckily, these 2 things are 2 things that I'm pretty passionate about, so it makes the work a little easier,
Sure.
And my wife is super supportive. She's awesome. She's been just an absolute blessing with our kids and helping out at home with, a lot of the stuff that I used to do that I don't get time to do anymore. And, it puts a lot more work on her too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's been quite a wild ride so far, and her support has enabled me to get to where we're at today. So
that's fantastic. Working together that's key to a good marriage, I'm sure. Is
right.
Good teamwork, give and take. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, just from the amount of time I've been, let's see, I think I first came in, I don't know, 3-5 months ago, something like that, and I've already seen how much you guys are growing, and that's fantastic to see. Because I mean, like you said, you keep prices fair. When you get a special bottle, it's retail price. I got this for $50, folks, not 120, 250. I mean, there's stupid high prices out there.
It gets a little crazy in some spots. I think some of the spots are trying to run more of a museum than they are a business.
Right.
But
that's what it seems like. I'm letting this guy air out just a little bit.
What's funny on this is that, you would think 131 proof bourbon would nose hot.
Right.
But it doesn't at all.
No, it doesn't. It's very gentle, especially compared to some of the other bottles I enjoy. It's like those will punch you right in the nose. This one, it's more like a gentle caress. I'm still working on developing both the nosing aspect as well as the palate.
Mm-hmm.
What, in your expertise, you've been doing this a lot longer than me, what are you getting on the nose so far?
It's funny. I think your palate and nose are constantly refining.
Yes.
And it's always hard to try to identify some of the things. Usually, I don't know, at least for me, typically on the higher proofed bourbons, I've noticed that most of the prominent nose that comes through for me seems to be vanilla, and that seems to be pretty consistent for any bourbon, at least for me across the board. Is that I always nose a good amount of vanilla. Now I don't always get the same taste, I don't get the same palate.
Right.
But yeah, I get some good vanilla on there. Maybe a little bit of maple.
There's a slight fruit scent to me, maybe like a little bit of cherry, which goes along with the vanilla aspect of it too.
Right.
Those are pretty similar. Yeah, I mean it's nice. I could get a little bit of caramel in there. Not a ton coming off the nose to me. Some are very fragrant. You get a lot. I'm not getting a ton right now. So how about we dive in and have a taste?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's good.
Now it's 1:37 on a Friday. It's obviously my first drink of the day. I guess maybe not obviously, but it is.
Who knows?
You would think your palate adjusting to 130 proof might be a little bit rough.
Right,
going
jumping
down,
right
but,
into it.
It's just it's not. You get a little bit more of that, like just burn right on the kind of the tip of your tongue, a little bit on that first sip. But I'm sure this next sip, I'm going to guess that goes away.
It's
That's just a good bourbon right there.
It's really good. I'm definitely getting, the second sip, I got more oakiness to it. Not super strong. This is a very well balanced. It doesn't really hit you one way or the other. I don't feel that there's anything that's like overly dominant in the flavor profile, right? Like some of those. For me, I feel like when you get to that like 15-year range, things that can't go over 15, sometimes you can get that like over oaked, and that's the only dominant thing you can taste. Sure.
And for some people, that's fine, and that's what they like. But yeah, sometimes that just gets to be a little overpowering. But yeah, this is very well balanced. I would agree.
Yeah, and it depends on my mood too. Sometimes I want more of one part of a flavor. Like I'll go for more of a fruity profile, or I'll go for more spice or whatever. But across the board, this is really balanced. Seriously, it is amazing. This is 131 proof. It drinks like a maybe 100 proof. Maybe.
That's probably where I would put it, like 100 to 110. Yeah. It's kind of where I feel like it actually drinks that.
It's so nice.
Yeah, it is good. Just that perfect amber color too.
Yes. So where can, obviously you're a local shop, where can people follow you, learn more about you online?
Sure. We pretty much do everything on Facebook and Instagram. We have a fairly good following on there. On Instagram, it's just at Chop and Barrel.
Okay.
And then you can just search Chop and Barrel on Facebook and find us there. I try to do a really good job of posting stuff on there and not posting it anywhere else or sending out text or anything first, because I try to be fair, as you can imagine. Drinking bourbon for a long time, I already have a bunch of friends who are into bourbon as well, and it's it makes it challenging because there's always the text coming through, and so to keep things fair, I use Facebook and Instagram as the means to communicate that stuff, and try to give everyone the same leg up on on stuff. Sometimes we get things in and they're out of here lickety split within 15 or 20 minutes, and sometimes it takes them a day or two, and I guess it just depends on the following. I think the quickest response we've ever had is we got a case of Weller Green Label Special Reserve of the 750s, and then 3 liters.
Wow.
And I posted that, and 3 minutes was the first response that someone saw it.
Oh my God.
I said they must have been just like driving down the street and checking Facebook at the same time. And got to swerve off the road. So we try to do a good job on Facebook and Instagram communicating the whiskey stuff, and then all the new stuff we roll out with our meat products and specials that we have there, and things like that as well.
Yeah, very cool. And again, kudos to you. That I'm sure it's tough to maintain that standard because, like you said, friends saying, "Hey, Mike, I've known you a long time. I like bourbon."
Right.
So that's really cool, and that's why I love coming here and supporting it. And as you guys can see, maybe using our special edition Grillo's glasses today. You also do a whiskey club, is that right?
We do, yeah. We have a whiskey club up here. We have 2 different dates that we meet. So it's on either a Thursday or a Wednesday night in the evening after we close. It's just a simple $35 a month fee, and then we sample 3 higher end bourbons.
Nice.
We get 1 ounce pours of each of those, and now that the relationships are starting to develop in the clubs and people are starting to get to know each other, we're starting to see where people will bring in a bottle of their own for some people to try and sample and stuff. And so I think our last club we had like 3 or 4 extra bottles up here. And instead of it being 6:15 to 8 o'clock, it turned into like 6:15 to like 9:30 or something. So, but no, it's good. I mean, my goal was to have an environment that would help people try things that they haven't tried before, which is kind of the aspect when, in the whiskey club, we're not having like, the Buffalo Trace allocated stuff or the Heaven Hill allocated stuff.
Yeah.
We're trying to find things that are really good, just a little lesser known, but still carry a fairly hefty price tag.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard to walk in somewhere and drop 80 or 90 bucks on a bottle you've never heard of.
Exactly.
So, we try to do that, get people exposed to some new things, and then, build camaraderie and friendships through whiskey. And, as there's a lot of other groups on Facebook that do the same thing. And so we try to do that in person here as well. And so far, so good. I think we're in about month, I would say 5 or 6 of our whiskey club, and it's going really well. And we still have a few spots open, not very many, but we still have a few spots open before we're kind of capped out for what we can deal with in our small space here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a good time. Every once in a while we'll have some different stuff go on. I think this month actually we're doing 2 old fashions. So Bowen. I don't know. Some folks might watch him or follow him on Facebook. He runs a page called Assholes and Bourbon.
Okay.
It's entertaining as you can imagine. But anyway, he comes in and he's going to do a smoked old fashioned kind of class.
Ooh,
and then I'm making my own personal recipe old fashioned. And then we're sampling Calumet 15 year.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's on our agenda for this month. So I try to change it up a little bit between there and do some different stuff. So it's not always just, 3 bourbons, so try to space it around and get a little bit. We did Balvenie 12 year in one of ours, which I think is a good kind of entry level scotch.
Yeah.
And there were some that just weren't a fan. but that's okay.
You don't know until you try it. So
right.
Good. Very cool. Yeah. I can't recommend enough for you all to, if you live anywhere near this area, to follow them on Facebook and Instagram. And you also send out, I get your newsletter in my email.
Correct.
Which, I follow you on social media, so I'm pretty much up on it anyways, but it's nice to have those 3 different options.
Yeah.
That's how you find out about raffles going on, bottles that just came in, all kinds of stuff. Appreciate you having me out today, Mike.
Well, Tim, I appreciate you coming out, man.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Thanks for sharing the bottle.
Hey, of course.
That's a good Fresh Crack Friday right there.
That's right. Fresh Crack Friday. And as always, if you want to stay tuned for future videos and information, go ahead and hit subscribe and go ahead and like this video too. It's pretty good.